Hello students, in this session of chapter number 6, that is biomolecules, we are going to learn regarding the different factors which affect the enzyme activity. Now in our previous session we have seen regarding the types of enzymes. Then the first factor which affect the enzyme activity is the concentration of substrate. Now you know that substrates are the substances on which the enzyme acts. So the increase in concentration of the substrate increase the velocity of enzyme activity within the limited range of substrate levels. That means as the concentration of substrate increase, the velocity of enzyme activity also increase within the limited range of the substrate levels. Then here we can see the graph showing the concentration of substrate and velocity of the enzyme activity. Now V stands for velocity, then V max means the maximum velocity, then S is the substrate concentration, then Km means it is called as Michaelis-Menten constant. So here we can see three phases, that is A, B and C. So as the substrate concentration increases, the velocity of enzyme activity also increase. Here we can see the increased enzyme activity. That means as the substrate concentration increases, the velocity of enzyme activity also increase, and it is shown with the help of this graph. So as the increase in concentration, or as there is increase in the substrate concentration, the velocity of enzyme activity also increase. Then the second factor is enzyme concentration. Now the rate of enzymatic reaction is directly proportional to the substrate concentration. Then rate of reaction is directly proportional to square root of the concentration of enzyme. That means the rate of reaction increase with the increase in the concentration of enzymes. So during the enzyme activity, we have seen that in the first factor, that is concentration of substrate, as the concentration of substrate increase, the velocity of enzyme activity also increase. So as the concentration of enzyme increases, the enzyme activity is increased and the product is formed. So here in this graph we can see that a particular time span is given, then product concentration. That means here we can see, here we see that enzyme is having 1x concentration. Then when the concentration reaches up to 2x, that means it becomes twice, and the enzyme activity will also increase. So the rate of reaction increase as the concentration of enzyme increases during the process of conversion of substrate into useful product. Then the next factor affecting enzyme activity is temperature. Now proper temperature for enzyme activity, or it is called as optimum temperature, is 37 degree Celsius. Then rate of reaction increases as the temperature rises, but it will work only up to 37 degrees Celsius, and after 37 degrees Celsius the enzyme activity will slow down or it will decrease, and when the temperature will rise above 40 degrees Celsius, then the enzymes will be destroyed or denatured and the enzyme activity will decrease or it will stop. So optimum temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So here we can see with the help of this graph that as the temperature increases, there is rise in the enzyme activity. But when temperature increases above 37 degrees Celsius, then there is decline in enzyme activity. Similarly, when the temperature is low, the enzyme activity will slow down. So, low temperature decreases enzyme activity. So, temperature is one of the important factor which affects the enzyme activity. Then the next factor is pH. So, pH affects the enzyme activity. Now, every enzyme has different optimum pH value. Optimum pH value means at a particular pH, the enzyme activity will be maximum. So, here you can see that the pH value or when it is optimum, then we will see that the rate of enzyme activity is the highest. So, enzyme activity requires proper pH. Then there are other factors which also affect the enzyme activity. Now these factors are certain types of coenzymes. Then some are activators. That means they increase the enzyme activity, and these activators are inorganic substances. Then some factors are or some substances are acting as inhibitor. Now inhibitor means these substances reduce or slow down the enzyme activity. So here we have seen the different factors affecting enzyme activity. Then the next topic is Michaelis-Menten constant of Km. Now Michaelis-Menten constant means it is the substrate concentration, that is moles per liter, to produce half of the maximum velocity in an enzyme catalyzed reaction. So this Michaelis-Menten constant means it is the substrate concentration, and that is moles per liter to produce half of the maximum velocity in an enzyme catalyzed reaction. Then low Km value indicates a strong affinity between enzyme and substrate, and high Km indicates weak affinity between the enzyme and substrate. Then the next topic is concept of metabolism. Now you know that in all living organisms the process of metabolism occurs. Now metabolism is the sum of chemical reactions occurring in the cell of living organisms to provide them with energy as well as to produce or synthesize new organic material is called as metabolism. That means there are different reactions which occur in the cell of living organisms. So the total sum of all these reaction is called as metabolism, and with the help of metabolism energy is provided to the organism as well as new organic materials are produced. Then metabolism is of two types. First one is catabolism, or the pathway is called as catabolic pathway, and the second one is anabolism, or the process is called as anabolic pathway. Now first we will see catabolic pathway. Now catabolic pathway means it is the formation of simpler structure from complex biomolecules. That means conversion of complex substances into simpler form is called as catabolism or catabolic pathway. Here is the example that starch is converted into glucose in presence of hydrolytic enzymes, and during this conversion energy is released in the form of ATP molecules, and this energy is utilized for different activities. Then the next type is anabolism or anabolic pathway. It is also called as biosynthetic pathway. So it is a biosynthetic pathway forming complex biomolecules from simpler structures. That means complex substances are produced from simpler substances. Example, glucose. Glucose is converted into glycogen or amino acids. Then amino acids come together to form proteins. So in anabolism, complex substances are produced from simpler ones. Now the next topic is metabolic pool. Now metabolic pool is the reservoir of biomolecules in the cell on which enzyme act to produce useful product. It's called as metabolic pool. That means different biomolecules which are present inside the cell togetherly come under the term that is metabolic pool. Then metabolic pool allows the conversion of one type of molecule into another type of molecule. For example, carbohydrates are converted into fats. Then glycolysis and Krebs cycle provide ATP, that means adenosine triphosphate, that is energy is provided for these different metabolic processes. Now these two steps, that is glycolysis and Krebs cycle, are the steps occurring in the process of respiration. You know that respiration is a process in which complex organic food material is oxidized into simpler form and energy is released, and this energy is released in the form of ATP molecules. So respiration occurs in three steps in aerobic organisms. These steps are glycolysis, then second one is Krebs cycle, and the third one is electron transfer system and terminal oxidation. So details of respiration we are going to learn in the chapter that is respiration. So glycolysis, Krebs cycle provide ATP for different metabolic processes occurring inside the cell. Then organisms show development of secondary metabolites. Now secondary metabolites are the organic molecules produced by organisms which are not essential for their growth, development and reproduction are called as secondary metabolites. Now secondary metabolites means these are the substances produced by organisms during their normal metabolism, but these substances are not useful for themselves. That means they are not used or not essential for their growth, development and reproduction. So such substances are called as secondary metabolites. Now secondary metabolites are classified on the basis of their chemical nature. Then they are classified on the basis of their composition, and then solubility in solvents is also considered. Now you know that solvents are the substances in which solutes dissolve. So these criteria are used in the classification of secondary metabolites. Then the next topic is classification of secondary metabolites. Secondary metabolites are classified as, the first one is terpenes. Now terpenes are produced from malonic acid, which consists of carbon and hydrogen. Then second ones are phenolics. Phenolics are produced from simple sugars containing benzene rings and contain hydrogen and oxygen. Then nitrogen containing compounds. So in these three categories, secondary metabolites are classified. Then the economic importance of secondary metabolites. Secondary metabolites are used to produce different kinds of medicines, to treat different diseases like cancer, then hypertension and inflammatory diseases. Then a plant called as Papaver somniferum. In Marathi it is called as khaskhas. So this plant produces morphine, which is used as a pain reliever, and also it is used in cough. Then nicotine and cocaine are used for recreation and stimulation. Then secondary metabolites are used to improve the flavors of different food products. So here we have seen regarding the secondary metabolites, and we have completed the chapter number 6, that is biomolecules.